back-end GitHub is powered by a certain technology called Git. So what happens is that GitHub is an interface, like something you can see, yet Git are commands. So people who don't want to work in command line, but they want to click things, you know, they can rely on Git to ship products very fast. I don't know if you've heard a new term that is a new kid on the block called no code. Have you heard about it? Like the WordPress we are using, it's one of the no-code tools because you can use WordPress without writing a single line of code and build a website or a web app, isn't it? Those who have used it. You can build as big as Jumia with WordPress without writing a code. I think Arthur has done many of those. Huh? Sure. Yeah, so GitHub is like that. You don't have to write code, though we are going to write a few lines to just see how we can publish products. You know, publish products faster. Yeah, I can. Can I use that one? Sorry, can I use his? That one? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
We're trying to find a backup plan.
Yeah, it's okay. Can you open Netlify here? Yeah, just here. So I'm going to use the help of someone's computer. But those who have heard about Git, you know, or GitHub, you know the steps we go through. Okay. So I'm not going to go in Scratch. I'm not going to show you how to sign up, how to log in. No, because I assume that that's easy to. If you don't know how to do it, that's easy to get around with. If you know, I don't want to waste your time. So what we are going to do, in fact, let me be here as is on his computer so that I don't disorganize it. So you know, with the GitHub, where we start after logging in is creating something called a repository. This is a store for our code. So kindly click new. Those who have their computers, you can do it as well. Then we are going to put a repository name. Kindly put WordCamp Jinja 2022. WordCamp Jinja 2022. So we are assuming we are building our product. We are assuming that we are building a website called WordCamp 2022. I see some people struggling to see. I don't know if there's a way we can zoom in. Are you able to see, guys? Those who are unable to see here. Can you extend? There are some chairs here. Okay, are you there? So, yeah, as usual, when you are creating a repository, you optionally add a description. We are not going to add that, okay? In interest of time, then you choose whether you want it to be public or private. We are going to leave it public, but private can also work. Then we continue to add a README if you want, but let's not go there. A README is something that is a documentation about your product, okay? So you are teaching people, you are letting people know what your product does, but we are not going to go there. And you can add other things like the license and the Git ignore. All right, so kindly click Create Repository. So basically, we've created a repository on GitHub. If we had code on our computer, okay, if we had code on our computer, at this stage, we would be connecting this repository, which is referred to as a remote repository, to the code on our computer. And the code on our computer is referred to as the local repository. All right? So we are not going to go there. We are going to go here we are going to create a new file, okay? Click create a new file. So you can do all of these things on GitHub without really using your, yes. And let's add some HTML code. Like, just add a HTML boilerplate. Do you know HTML or can I come and type? All right, you can, Then just put in H1, welcome to WordCamp Jinja. So so many of you have known, who have never worked with the code. This is called HTML, and don't mind about it. We are just looking at how you can build software products and ship them faster. Yeah, let's just not. That. Okay, then add. Yeah, then title. Yeah, you can just say WordCamp Jinja in the title. So many people fear code, but these are, you can see how HTML looks, very simple. Yeah, it's a language like the Luganda I speak and the English, but I guess by the time I go back, someone should teach me some Lusoga, you know? Thank you very much. You guys, so how do I say thank you? Webale? But that is like Luganda.
Yeah, even Luganda is like Lusoga.
Nice, thank you. So, all right. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Anyone who? Yeah, there's an error here. Yeah, I think that's okay. So we can scroll down, and you can write some comments here. All right, but you can leave it and you just say commit new file. Okay. So after doing that, we've actually created our product, but now a customer cannot see our product. So what we call shipping is putting a product on somewhere where everyone can access that product from, all right? And our interest is to make sure that when they see this product, if we make any change, we do not really struggle, okay? We don't struggle to tell them, or, we just tell them, wait a minute, you are going to see the change. So what we are going to do, one of the tools that are good at hosting products today is called Netlify, okay? There are other tools like Vercel, there are tools like Heroku, but we are going to use Netlify because someone has told me that, you know what, others are shit, this is the king. And I was like, okay, I'll use that. But there are many other tools. Even those who use cPanel and Plesky, they can connect with GitHub, all right? So we shall go over to Netlify. You can expand it. And we are going to click. We have already logged in. So in other words, if you go to netlify.com, if you don't have an account, you are going to see sign up or start a project. That will be very easy, all right? But after getting in, what will you do? You are going to click import project from Git or deploy manually. But we don't want to deploy manually because we want to go with the simple stuff. Lazy people create amazing tools, and I used to like to not be lazy, but some colleague of mine is making some awesome money with this laziness. So I also want now, these things you see here, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, Azure, DevOps, all of those are tools that host code, all right? Like you see, we've written code on GitHub. So we are in Netlify, we are going to say we want to connect GitHub. So we shall click GitHub. And all we need to do, Serena was talking about hacking in her presentation. She mentioned, she kept mentioning that word, hacking, so on and so forth. I think even the lady who presented about APIs. So what happens is that because you have to be identified differently on GitHub, okay, you need to protect your things. So Netlify wants to know which GitHub account you want to connect to, all right? So we have to give it, we have to authorize it, okay? Authorize, simple things. The guy has written only a few lines of code, then we are going to connect to your account. So here, what will happen is that if you have logged in, by the time you click GitHub in Netlify, if you are logged in GitHub, Netlify will suggest the accounts, okay, of GitHub. If you are not logged in, it will ask you to log in. Now, we are going to select all repositories or only selected repositories. So let's choose this one so that we select a repository we want. Okay, now choose select. Do you remember the repository we created? It was WordPress, WordCamp? Yes, it was WordCamp Jinja. And then we go down and click install. And who has ever worked with Webpack? Something called Webpack? No one? All right. So people who do coding and they are advanced in things like JavaScript and they do React or Vue or Angular, they used to go through a hard time of writing Webpack commands. In fact, in most tech events, the only questions you would get is, have you heard about Webpack? Do you know how to use it? Because people knew how to write JavaScript, but the process of writing Webpack commands was really strenuous. So what happens is that these guys at Netlify have built that in the back end. So they are looking at the code in here and building it so that they provision something called a domain. A domain is that thing which, like when someone says, what's your website name? That's the domain name, okay? So Netlify is providing that, and then we are going to see the preview of our, can you try to refresh? And we see, refresh the page, like right-clicking and refreshing. Yeah, you can. Because it should be fast. Oh, it was still building. Oh, we had to click configure. Okay, authorize again. Yeah, that's the one. Click it. So, okay. Now, those of you know Git a bit, you know that Git works with branches, okay? Usually, I recommend you have 3 branches in your Git or GitHub. You have the branch called develop, you have a staging branch, and a production branch. Why? The develop is where you push your code that you are writing on your computer, okay? Just in case your computer fails, just in case some smart guy snatches your computer, your code will be on that develop branch. But because you are not sure of everything it has, you don't want that code to be previewed by the people who are previewing a product out there in the market. So you keep your code in develop. If you want to test your code, you take it to the staging branch and you connect that staging branch to something like Netlify or somewhere else. You preview. If what you are previewing is nice, you now push to the production branch. We shall not see how to create branches because we are not here to learn GitHub or Netlify. We are just here to learn how to ease the process of creating and launching software. So we've chosen the main branch, which is the default branch in every repository on GitHub. All right, let's scroll down. Then we can click deploy site. So by show of hands, who thinks we have more steps left to preview the code we wrote? Who thinks we have more steps? By show of hands. No one. No one. Okay, so you see it says site deploy. in progress, all right? But like I said, those who have Plesky, the process is not very different. You log in into your Plesky, you set deploy from GitHub. If you have cPanel, it's the same procedure. And so consider that Netlify is like our server where we are hosting our website. All right, can we scroll down? Okay, it shows that it's still deploying, but sometimes it delays to show us that it has deployed. So sometimes I just refresh. You see, it's already deployed, and we don't want to set up a custom domain, we just want to use theirs. So what are we going to do? It's already here, so we can click here to preview. So Netlify gives you like an arbitrary domain name. You know, they auto-generate something because they don't know what you want. And here we are. How many minutes has it taken us? I'm not even the one on the what? On the computer. Someone else who has told me that he has never used Netlify, we've walked them through and they are using. So if you are building, those people who are building things like what? Things on React, on Angular, you know, things like static websites on WordPress. I like the topic she has been sharing about APIs. And someone asked, how do we use APIs? One way that you can use like APIs practically is when you go to that WordPress / JSON, and you see your JSON whatever, because WordPress comes with an API inbuilt, you don't code it. You can now use HTML and JavaScript to preview the WordPress content using HTML. In case you don't know how to use WordPress, okay? Say for example, you're a beginner, you do not know how, you're a beginner but you know some code, right? But you don't know WordPress at all. You can tell Arthur, set up for me WordPress where these people can put the articles. Then for me, I design an interface where I can see the article so that I buy some time as I learn WordPress. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on shipping your first product in 5 minutes. So there's one more thing. Let's test and see if this is really not fishy, all right? We shall go back to GitHub, okay? Let's go back to GitHub. Just open the index.html. You've already edited it. Let's go and preview. He has already edited and added some content. He's really curious, so he wants to see if this content he has added is there on the website. Refresh and we see. Refresh the website itself. Yeah, there. Remember initially, did you press any button? That's it. So, yeah, that's what I had for you today. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, someone says he has a question. Yes?
Thank you for the great presentation.
You are welcome.
Do we have any use case about WordPress,
yes,
but not APIs?
That do we have any use case for the same procedure on WordPress without APIs? Yes, I never wanted to complicate life because, you know, when we are building WordPress plugins, we can mix, you know, like HTML, JavaScript, PHP. So I never wanted to take people into that. But the reason I showed you this is that most WordPress websites are hosted in environments like shared hosting, where you have cPanel and Plesk. So what happens is that if, for example, you are a plugin builder, okay, and you don't have this much time, you know, to write code on your computer, then connect to your repo, what you can do is very simple. You can set up a subdomain on your Plesky or whatever, or cPanel, put your website there, then all you are going to do is write your code locally for the plugin, okay? Write it locally, then connect it to GitHub, then connect it in your subdomain what? On your subdomain's WordPress that you have on Plesk. So whenever you push to GitHub, exactly, because this gets deployed here, and this triggers to your Plesk or whatever, then you see the previews instantly.
I'm going to code.
Amazing. Someone says he's going to code finally. Wow. So any other question? Yes, Sebo. Let me bring the microphone. Your name?